Good day, everyone. Today we are addressing the crucial topic of environmental conservation. We have two esteemed debaters here, Sam and Greg, who will be sharing their perspectives on this issue. Sam, please present your constructive statement on the importance of environmental conservation. Greg, you will have the opportunity to follow with your constructive statement.
Thank you, dear moderator, fellow debater, and esteemed audience. Today, we stand at a crossroads where the decisions we make will determine the legacy we leave for future generations. The importance of environmental conservation cannot be overstated, as it is the foundation upon which the health of our planet and the well-being of all living creatures rest. Firstly, conserving our environment is crucial for maintaining biodiversity. Biodiversity is vital to the resilience of ecosystems, allowing them to withstand and recover from disturbances, as well as to provide services that humans rely upon, such as pollination, water purification, and carbon sequestration. Without a concerted effort to conserve our natural habitats, we risk losing not just rare species, but the very systems that support life on Earth. Secondly, environmental conservation is essential for climate stability. The destruction of natural habitats, particularly forests, contributes significantly to greenhouse gas emissions, which are driving global warming. By protecting these areas and investing in reforestation efforts, we can mitigate climate change and protect against extreme weather events that threaten our agriculture, infrastructure, and lives. Lastly, environmental conservation is critical for sustainable development. Natural resources are finite, and if we continue to exploit them at our current rate, we will exhaust them, leading to socioeconomic crises. Sustainable practices in agriculture, fishing, mining, and industry ensure that we use resources responsibly, preserving them for future use and maintaining a balance with the natural world. Therefore, it is not just a matter of ethical responsibility towards non-human life and ecosystems, but it is also a matter of practical importance for human survival and prosperity. It's time we recognize that environmental conservation is not merely an option, but an imperative for a sustainable future. The cost of inaction is simply too high. Thank you.
While I appreciate the arguments presented by Sam and recognize the passion behind those points, I would like to offer an alternative perspective on environmental conservation, stating the reasons why it might not always be the best approach. Firstly, focusing heavily on environmental conservation can lead to significant economic costs. Regulations and restrictions designed to preserve natural habitats often impede development and industry, which are crucial for economic growth and job creation. It is important to consider the livelihoods of people who depend on industries like logging, mining, and agriculture, which can be negatively impacted by stringent conservation measures. Moreover, innovation and technological advancement might be stifled under the stringent regulations that come with aggressive environmental conservation. History shows that human ingenuity often thrives when faced with challenges. As resources become scarcer, this could drive innovation in ways to use them more efficiently or to find alternatives. In addition, the focus on environmental conservation can sometimes be myopic, ignoring larger systemic issues such as economic inequality and geopolitical struggles, which are often the root causes of environmental degradation. Addressing these primary issues may offer more significant gains for both society and the environment in the long run. Lastly, it is important to be realistic about the capabilities and priorities of nations. Developing countries may need to prioritize economic development over environmental concerns to meet the basic needs of their citizens. Striking a balance between environmental protection and economic necessity is a complex task that should not be dictated by a one-size-fits-all conservation approach. In conclusion, while protecting the environment is undoubtedly important, it must be weighed against other critical factors, such as economic development, societal progress, and the autonomy of nations to decide their path. The principles of environmental conservation should be carefully integrated into a broader strategy that considers all aspects of human well-being and progress. Thank you.
Thank you both for presenting your constructive statements. We will now move on to the rebuttal phase. Sam, please present your rebuttal to Greg's points. After that, Greg will have the opportunity to present his rebuttal to Sam's initial statement and rebuttal. We will then reconvene for a broader discussion on the points presented.
I thank Greg for his insights, yet I strongly believe these perspectives miss the forest for the trees. Economic development cannot be viewed separately from environmental sustainability, and innovation should not come at the cost of our planet's health. Addressing the economic cost, the argument neglects the enormous economic and human cost of environmental degradation. Climate change alone is set to cost the global economy trillions of dollars due to lost productivity, health impacts, and disaster recovery efforts. Investing in environmental conservation is not a hindrance, but rather a pathway to a resilient and sustainable economy that mitigates these risks. The notion that environmental conservation stifles innovation is unfounded. In contrast, it fosters creativity and opens up new markets in renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and green technologies. Necessity is the mother of invention, and the necessity to conserve our environment can be a powerful driver of technological progress that supports economic growth while protecting the planet. Moreover, while it's essential to consider broader systemic issues, environmental conservation is intrinsically tied to these challenges. The poorest communities are often the most affected by environmental degradation, and tackling environmental issues can be a means of addressing inequality and improving living standards across the board. Lastly, the argument that developing countries must choose between economic development and environmental conservation creates a false dichotomy. Numerous examples from around the world show that sustainable practices lead to both economic growth and environmental protection. Integrating environmental conservation into development plans is not only doable, but essential for long-term prosperity. In conclusion, environmental conservation should be at the heart of global development strategies. It promotes economic stability, spurs innovation, addresses social inequities, and ensures the preservation of our planet for future generations. Ignoring these imperatives is short-sighted and perilous. Thank you.
I appreciate Sam's rebuttal, but I maintain that there are legitimate concerns about prioritizing environmental conservation over other pressing needs. It's crucial to understand that my stance is not a denial of the importance of a healthy environment, but rather an emphasis on the need for a balanced approach that realistically aligns with human aspirations and socio-economic objectives. In response to the economic arguments related to environmental degradation, it's important to highlight that economic growth is itself a vital component of a nation's ability to invest in environmental protection. Without a stable and growing economy, it becomes increasingly difficult for a country to allocate resources towards conservation efforts. The emphasis on innovation as a result of environmental conservation can often overlook the cost and accessibility issues associated with green technologies. While they represent an ideal, not all communities or countries can afford to adopt these immediately without economic repercussions or a transition period. Referring to the impact on the poorest communities, the immediate necessity is often the improvement of living standards through infrastructural development, access to energy, and opportunities for employment, all of which can be hindered by stringent conservation policies. Environmental conservation efforts need to be tailored to not exacerbate poverty or inequality in the short term. It's also important to challenge the notion that sustainable practices can easily go hand in hand with economic growth in all contexts. Different regions have different capacities, and the transition to sustainability can come with significant trade-offs that might not be viable for all, especially in the short run. In sum, while the principles of environmental conservation are indeed noble and desirable, they must be applied in a way that accommodates a broader spectrum of human needs, including economic stability, advancements in various sectors, and the sovereignty of nations to develop according to their specific circumstances. Environmental policies should consider both immediate human needs and long-term sustainability, striving for a pragmatic balance. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam and Greg, for your thoughtful and insightful contributions to this debate on environmental conservation. Both of you have presented compelling arguments that reflect the complexity and multifaceted nature of this issue. Sam, You underscored the critical importance of environmental conservation as a foundation for the health of our planet, the resilience of ecosystems, and the sustainability of human societies. Your emphasis on the economic and human costs of environmental degradation, the potential for innovation and technological progress, and the intrinsic connection between environmental conservation and social equity provides a compelling case for prioritizing conservation efforts. Greg, your perspective on the need for a balanced approach that integrates environmental conservation with economic development and human well-being is equally important. You have highlighted the interplay between economic growth and environmental protection, the challenges of accessibility and affordability of green technologies, and the need to consider immediate human needs alongside long-term sustainability. Both of your viewpoints have merit and deserve consideration as we navigate the complexities of environmental conservation. It is clear that finding a way forward requires a careful balance that respects the need for ecological preservation while addressing the legitimate concerns related to economic development, technological innovation, and social equity. In conclusion, the debate on environmental conservation is not a simple binary between preservation and progress, but rather a nuanced exploration of how to best harmonize these often competing priorities. It is through constructive dialogues such as this one that we can move closer to finding solutions that acknowledge the interconnectedness of environmental, social, and economic factors. I encourage all of us to continue engaging in these discussions, seeking common ground, and exploring innovative approaches to environmental conservation that uphold the well-being of both our planet and its inhabitants. Thank you once again to both Sam and Greg for their valuable contributions and to our audience for their attention. This concludes our debate on environmental conservation.